A drunk college student in handcuffs asks the Florida police to pinch his nipples. Walt Disney World will digitally add masks onto guests not wearing them in the photos. Snake and eggs, anyone? Floridians could soon be eating python. And a custodian brought a rifle to an elementary school. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian, and the only daily weird news podcast that has Florida Friday. This is the degenerate news from only the state of Florida for the week. A lot of you sent me these articles, and I appreciate that. Let's get into the stories from Florida.
Those bizarre stories you hear about all the time that seem to only happen here in Florida. I know, right?
Can't make this stuff up. It is just one of the many wacky news stories out of Florida.
Why does the Sunshine State consistently produce such strange news?
But what accounts for all this bizarre news? Is it the weather? Is it the people?
Florida is full of the crazy stories.
A drunk college student in handcuffs asks the Florida police to pinch his nipples. You know, sometimes you find yourself at the bar, it's at the end of the night, and you don't feel like paying your bar tab, right? We've all been there. Sometimes it's not really your fault. You realize the bar tab's way too big. You didn't expect it to be that big. You told a couple of your buddies, hey, you can put a few drinks on there. You didn't say, put all your drinks on there. You didn't say, put the drinks of anybody you want on there. You certainly didn't approve of the strangers walking up and putting drinks on your tab as well. Next thing you know, the end of the night comes, it's closing time. You get a big surprise with your bill, way bigger than you thought. Joseph Lancaster, a 22-year-old University of South Florida student, had the police called after he refused an $820 tab at a St. Petersburg bar. After arguing with security, his friends stepped in and paid the tab. What good friends Joseph Lancaster, 22-year-old University of South Florida student, has. Good Florida friends. Hard to find in Florida. Guys that'll just step up and have your back, I'd imagine. There's not too many of those. Stumbling around and slurring his words, Joseph Lancaster began shouting at the bar. I am sorry none of you graduated high school, but F you. F you. Did he say that to the police or was it the bar? It doesn't say. The officers arrived. Joseph started berating them. When they put him in restraints, aka handcuffs, he told the officers that being in handcuffs, quote, gets me off. Oh boy, this took a turn. This story took a turn. He went from being arrested to thinking he's in the middle of a porn. That's what happened. He then asked somebody to please pinch his nipples. Pinch my nipples, he said. Pinch my nipples. Did he tell the police to pinch his nipples or anybody at the bar? Was his shirt off or on? It doesn't say. This is a strange thing to request when you're in handcuffs being arrested, is for somebody to pinch your nipples. Most people, when they're arrested, they feel a sense of doom. They're nervous. This guy's like, nope, it's on. He heard in his head that porn music. I mean, I don't think porn music is like that anymore, but it used to be like that. All porn music used to be. I'm just letting all the kids know that that's what porn music used to be. You're very lucky now. You have a whole porn soundtrack. It's all great. The music's very acceptable. Now, back in the day, it was just every song, same thing in every porn. Anyways, this guy Joseph was being arrested. He heard a soundtrack of porn in his brain, apparently, because he asked the police or somebody to pinch his nipples. Joseph, I enjoy my nipples pinched when I'm being arrested. Lancaster was charged with some things. Disorderly intoxication, which is a misdemeanor. He was booked in the jail. It says he's now out on bond, but it doesn't say if any of the police actually adhere to his request to pinch his nipples. So we'll have to wait. I'm sure there'll be a court case, and maybe the judge will pinch his nipples. Maybe someone in the jury will pinch his nipples. Someone's got to pinch his nipples. He's asking for it. Disney World will digitally add masks onto the guests that aren't wearing them in the ride photos. If you visit Walt Disney World in Florida, you'll be wearing a mask, whether you like it or not, because Disney World has allegedly updated how it handles people not wearing masks on their rides. What they're going to do is digitally add the facial covering to the guests in those photos that can be purchased after you ride on a ride. So instead of requiring guests to ride a mask on the ride, which is what you should do, Walt Disney World of Florida, or even wear a mask to enter the park, which is probably what you should do, Walt Disney World, Florida. Oh, wait a minute. You're Walt Disney World, Florida, not California. Yeah, never mind, never mind. You just Photoshop masks on people and just hope that the world is a safe place. How about that? Okay? And why don't you offer a digital vaccine while you're at it, or cast a spell on your guests or some other. You're living in a fantasy world, Walt Disney World, is what I'm saying. Now, this all came to light this week when there was a photo posted in the Facebook group called Disney World Junkies. The photo showed a woman who was riding an Animal Kingdom ride, and it appears that she has a mask photoshopped onto her face. Disney World did not respond to a request for comment to confirm this practice of digitally adding masks to people's faces. Previously, Disney World would not allow those without masks to see the photos that were taken during the rides or purchase their own photos taken during the rides. Now the park is allegedly allowing the guests to have their photos, but with an added piece of digital magic to make everybody feel better. The Florida theme park, which remains open while its California counterpart has not been able to reopen due to coronavirus restrictions and the fact that California actually gives a damn about its citizens, they have not provided official comment on this mask photo protocol on the rides, though according to the website, face coverings are required and those who do not adhere to the mask guidelines will not be allowed to have their photo taken by the PhotoPass photographers. Oh, you're so strict, Disney World, Florida. People that don't wear masks. Oh, yeah? Well, we're not going to take your photo. How about that? We're going to pretend like you don't even have a phone that takes 1 million photos in your pocket right now, and that everybody in your family also has a smart device that can take unlimited photos and video of you having a great time at Disney. We're not going to let you have one of those old school photos that we take that are actually more special than your photos, okay? Okay, you better wear your mask. We give a shit. And we're so strict, okay, if you actually come into the park and you're coughing COVID all over the guests, we are not going to let you in Pirates of the Caribbean, okay? Because that's an indoor ride and there'll be no coughing in there. It actually disturbs the music and the other guests, okay? So you can cough all you want on all the other rides, but not on that one. We're very strict at the Florida Disney World, okay? We give a shit about people's lives. You should know.
It's Florida Friday, only on Weird AF News.
What would you like for breakfast? How about snake and eggs? Yeah, Floridians could soon eat pythons. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Donna Khalil estimates that she's eaten 12 pythons in the last 3 years or so. That's not including the python jerky, she says. She's a python hunter for the South Florida Water Management District. Here's a quote from her. I eat that python several times a week because I take it out with me on python hunts. I eat the python jerky all day out there. I do. State officials would like to see more people like Khalil putting pythons on their menu. Not because of their nutritional value or anything like that, but it's another way to encourage hunting to control the python population. If you didn't know, Burmese pythons are considered an invasive species in Florida. The voracious appetite of these apex predators disrupts the entire food chain in environmentally fragile areas, such as the Florida Everglades. Believed to have begun their Florida invasion after owners released them into the wild, python numbers have boomed, and the state has struggled to rein them in. We would like to use consumption as another way to encourage folks to remove pythons in Florida. You know, of course, if the meat is safe to eat. That was Carly Siegelson, a spokesperson for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The study that we're undertaking will help ensure that the python meat is safe to be eaten. Other invasive species are also consumed, most notably the lionfish. It's a way to control their populations. Some people in Florida, as you know, even eat iguanas. But there's a concern about eating the pythons, and it's one that the state has started to research. These massive snakes, like some fish, could be full of mercury, which is a neurotoxin that is dangerous to human beings. That's why the Florida Department of Health is working with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to conduct tissue samples on pythons to determine whether they contain too much mercury for human consumption. If the levels are deemed safe enough, get ready to make new entries in your Florida Invasive Species Cookbook. Khalil says, I really like python chili. It's so good in chili. And I also like it in a stir fry. But her favorite way to eat python is to pressure cook it for 10 or 15 minutes. Saute it with onions and garlic and add it to the pasta sauce. I can't believe this lady eating all the python. Khalil is a Miami native who gave up her real estate job to hunt pythons full time, and I'm sure her husband is pleased. She said the meat is very rubbery and tough if you don't prepare it properly. The pressure cooker makes it much more tender, she said. And how about the taste, Khalil? Tell us about the taste. We all want to know. We're on the edge of our seat. We want to know what python tastes like. I don't really want to say like it tastes like fish because it is more the texture of the fish. But, you know, it definitely does not taste anything like fish. It tastes, well, if I was to say, I'd say it tastes more like chicken. Or maybe maybe I'm going to say pork. More like a pork chop, maybe. Yeah, pork. And now for some alarming numbers. It is estimated that 100 to 300,000 pythons are living in the fragile Florida ecosystem, devouring native mammals and birds, perhaps even small babies or puppies. They've been successful at reproducing in the swampy Everglades because they have no predators whatsoever. And get this, females can lay up to 100 eggs. Out of control. But it's very difficult to hunt these things. Snake hunters hired by the state captured only about 6,000 pythons over the last 4 years. That's terrible. And out of desperation, the state does such things as create the Florida Python Challenge, the state's annual hunt that awards cash prizes for the most, the largest, and the heaviest pythons caught. Well, hopefully python jerky will also catch hold. I don't see how that's possible, but I got to tell you, though, I would try python jerky, but I don't know about these other python dishes. Python chili, really? Garlic-infused python? You can have that, Khalil. You can have that. This is another reason not to live in Florida. Like 200,000 pythons? You crazy? Wow. You can't eat enough of these things to even curtail the population, curb the population, corral the population. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Who cares about words? You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A custodian brought a rifle to an elementary school in Florida. Yeah, of course. Those kids are dangerous in Florida. Wow, you never know what they're going to do. Always walking over your freshly mopped floor. You try and tell them, you say, hey, kids, I just mopped there. Next thing you know, they whip out an alligator, pull it right out of their pants and throw it at your face. You got to be very, very careful with these kids. Of course you need a gun at an elementary school. It's Florida. Hello. Those kids are trying to sell you meth. Two custodians at the J.C. Mitchell Elementary School in Boca Raton are in the county jail after one allegedly brought a rifle to school and another one was photographed with the rifle. And then they posted it on social media because they are so intelligent. You guys know how you do it when you're breaking the law, okay? What you want to do, not only when you're breaking the law, when you're also endangering your job and your livelihood, you want to put it all on social media, right, guys? You know how it goes. Custodians Domingo Urian Reynoso and Hoover Mora were taken into custody by the Palm Beach School Board Police. They're both charged with possession of a firearm at school. At least one of the custodians works the overnight shift. It was not immediately clear if the other is present during hours when students are on campus. The gun was allegedly Urian Reynoso's. Mora actually just posed for the photograph. There's a police report below. Do you want me to read it? Do you guys want me to read it? Do you vote for... Jonesy, read the report. Oh, all right, I'll read it. Within the photo, an unknown male had in possession an unknown make, model, black rifle. The rifle was in a downward position, slung across his upward body. The male was holding the buttock of the rifle with his right arm. The buttock? I didn't know rifles had a buttock. Wow, I'm learning something in this police report. Rifles have body parts. Additionally, the male was wearing a school district of Palm Beach County polo shirt and appeared to be standing in what looked like a school campus. A ladder and metal coverings on the frame of the wall were seen in the background. The male was later identified as Hoover Mora, a custodian at J.C. Mitchell Elementary School. Read the complete arrest report below if you'd like to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to read anymore. I don't want to learn any more body parts of the guns or learn about any more Floridian stupidity for the day. This is my fourth story for Friday, and I've had enough of it. Have you guys had enough of it? Of course you haven't. You can't get enough of Florida degeneracy. I know you. I know who my listeners are. You guys love it. You love stories about Florida custodians because you know the kind of people they are. Look, if they're hiring Florida teachers that have 8 DUIs and sex assaults in their past, can you imagine the quality of custodians that are being hired? I mean, I can't even imagine. They could have bodies in their basements. It doesn't matter. They're just like, please come in and clean. Please, no one will come and be around these kids. No one will do it. We'll pay you handsomely. We'll pay you in python jerky. Hey, man, I brought the rifle. You ready for the photo shoot? Oh, dude, you brought the rifle? Yeah, I've been dying to have that photo shoot. Hey, let's go around the corner so you can't really hear the kids. Okay, let's go around here. Oh, here we go. All right, yeah. Feeling good, man. I wore my shirt, the polo. Oh, the polo, yeah, with the school logo. Good one, good one. Yeah, man, I couldn't wait to take a photo with this rifle. Oh, man, don't you love rifle photo shoots? Oh, I so do, man. Oh, I can't get enough pictures of me holding a gun, right? What do? I look good near the locker right here? What do you think? Right here? Yeah, man, the locker. That's a good place. Yeah, get right near the locker. Lean on the locker. Yeah. Maybe take a book. Hold a book in your hand right there. Like, oh, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Point the gun up. Yeah. Pretend like you're shooting, right, the basketball hoop. Oh, that looks good right there. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Now look at me like mean. Like, hey, like you caught me. I'm late for class. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Yes. Now, point the gun at me and pretend you just caught me fighting in the schoolyard. All right. What you going to do? Oh, yeah, you're going to shoot me, right? Yeah, because no fighting in the schoolyard, you get shot, right? Good. Oh, these photos are going to be great. Yeah, we'll put them on social media, maybe put them on your dating profile. Oh, yeah, you think I look handsome? Oh, you look so handsome, bro. Next week, come here. Bring machetes. We'll do a machete photo shoot. Yeah, you look real good. Weird news is in flight. Afternoon delight. You ever listen to weird news in the afternoon? Is it an afternoon delight for you? I know some of you listen in the morning, some of you listen in the afternoon, some of you listen at night. Whenever you listen, I just want you to know I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you press play on the Weird AF News episode. So I also hope that you're having a lovely weekend. It's the last weekend before Christmas, so you're probably spending the weekend doing some shopping. Maybe not so much in actual stores, although I'm sure that is a possibility. A lot of you are probably buying gifts online, which is what I did this year. I mailed a lot of coffee this year is what I did. My relatives love coffee, so people are getting some dope coffee this year from me. It's so easy oh man, I just love shopping online. Don't have to leave your bed. You can just be like, oh, I'm Christmas shopping. Right in my warm bed with my snifter of whiskey. Just kidding, guys. I keep it real. Okay. What did I want to say? Announcements. That's right, Jonesy. Get your head together. Get it together, Jonesy. You got announcements to make. What are the announcements? Well, I just hope you have a nice weekend, really. That's my announcement. Oh, yeah, I should mention the Patreon because there's the Patreon challenge is still going on where Michael from Iowa City will match a $5 donation to anyone who joins the Patreon at any level. And there's various levels. Regardless of the level of Patreon that you join, you will get access to some pretty cool, weird AF extra content. I hope you enjoy that stuff. I'm going to be putting up another article this evening, something weird that I came across and read. I put a lot of weird stuff that I read and see and hear on there, so that's what you get. Not to mention some bonus episodes, which I will have to record another one with my buddy Dave at some point, or another comedian perhaps. It's just hard to get comedians to come over my house these days. They're scared. Like, what are you scared of, man? Just come on over, all right? We'll wear masks. We'll do whatever we got to do. We'll record like 20 feet apart if we have to. I'll take the risks, and I'll buy you a Subway sub. What about that? These are the things that I offer people, but they don't want my company, man. They don't want it's a struggle these days. What else did I want to say? Thanks to everybody who sent me stories. That was pretty sweet of you. I got stories sent to me via email, funnyjones@gmail.com, of course. I also got some stories sent to me on Instagram @funnyjones. Also, someone sent me a story on Facebook. My Facebook is Comedian Jonesy or Weird AF News. There's a Weird AF News Facebook page. You can submit stories as well through my website, weirdafnews.com. That's pretty cool. Check that out. You can also find the Patreon there too, weirdafnews.com. Check it out. And have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the stories, and we'll see you on Monday.